Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the continuation of a seminar that promises to make transformational impact in our homes. Happy Family Bible Seminars. We'd like to continue by reminding us that happy families are not necessarily perfect families. Any perfect family in the house? I think we're all on the road, aren't we? And we all are looking at something in our life that needs to be made a little better. So happiness is not conditioned by perfection. And so if you find someone in your house who is imperfect, don't rule out happiness. Because happiness is just around the corner. How can we perfect happiness? Tonight we want to talk about happiness from the perspective of stress. Stress. How best can we manage stress to advance happiness in our marriage, in our family life, and in our relationships, human relationships, period. Happy Family Bible Seminars are designed to empower families for time and for eternity. And tonight, 7 ways to manage stress and enjoy inner peace. Anyone do it with a little more peace in your life? Oh, my. There are so many things that happen in the course of a day and the course of life that impact our equilibrium. Right? Everything seems to be going right, and then we're off, and we're going to bring it back here. It's just this journey. Stress is a reality that we have to live with. Good stress, bad stress. Stress is a part of existence, and we need to know how to manage it. We are not able to reach a point to just eliminate it because it's even good for us. Certain part of it is really a question of how do we manage stress to make it work for us. What happens when you see an ambulance or hear one? You think of emergency. What feelings might you have? Oh, I hope it's not my family member. Yeah, oh, that goes right there, or some loved one, some friend. There was a time in Bermuda that when you heard the noise of an ambulance and the siren, then all of a sudden our attention was captured. Somehow today it's not quite the same, is it? We begin to hear it so much now that it becomes a new norm. But it doesn't take away the stress. We've just adjusted to a living in a very higher level of stress. Stress. Sometimes we know it's there. Sometimes we just don't even understand what's happening, but it is impacting us and it is affecting the quality of our lives. Stress. Stress at home. Stress at school. Stress on the job. Stress in our world. Whichever angle you look from, it's there. But what is stress? Stress is the body's physical, mental, and emotional response to a demand, which is called a stressor, a trigger, a stimulant, something that just triggers a response. Okay? Now, some stress is useful. Too much stress is harmful. Unmanaged stress is destructive. Stress types. Negative stress can result from loss of a job. Positive stress can result from job promotion. So you notice in the same place, 2 kinds of stress with 2 types of effect. One positive, the other negative. Light stress can result from running from the rain, whereas severe stress can result from an illness like cancer. Yesterday and today, have people come to the office or call stress? Stress. Some very weighty stress. Others by way of email, communicating stress. This is a reality that we cannot escape. However, we can manage it and escape it while it is all around us. And so we want to talk about tonight how best to manage stress. Negative stress symptoms. tension headaches, over anxiety, loss of appetite, overeating, insomnia. Anybody guilty for any of these? Don't put up your hand. But here we are. These and other types of symptoms reveal to us that there is something in our life that's not managed the best way it can be. And because it is not managed, it is not useful, and it can sap our joy. Someone with a very vibrant personality, under stress, may be lowered or prevented from releasing the real person they are. And you see walking around, head low, just under the pressure, under the gun. Place them in the right environment, the sun begins to shine. You just wonder what happened. Well, they found relief from negative stress. To deal with stress effectively, I must first identify its source. Nail it down. This is what is contributing to my condition that needs help. Identify the source. Why are you downcast, O my soul? Why so disturbed within me? The question raised by the psalmist, Psalms 43 and verse 5. So find out, ask yourself, discover the source. Why are you so downcast? Few techniques, 7 techniques of 7 ways to manage and stress and enjoy inner peace. Whole body therapy. So what can I do to the entire body to bring this stress level down? Not a pill. Now, sometimes we are so stressed that a pill might help to get us over the hump. But we cannot live on pills. And if we are dependent on pills to bring us peace, then we need new power. And the power is available tonight. We need to tune in to the source of true power. Not a pill, but a process. 1 Corinthians 9, 25 and 27, everyone who competes for the prize is temperate. In all things, I discipline my body and bring it unto subjection. Temperance has to do with moderate use or approach to that which is good and abstinence from that which is harmful. Temperance. Lifestyle is significant to the management of stress. Adequate sleep, healthy diet, avoid caffeine, tobacco, and alcohol, regular exercise. Some may actually have a prescription for health through an acronym or a saying, New Start. And New Start being the acronym for 8 paths to health. N for nutrition, E for exercise, W for water, S for sunshine, T for temperance. What comes next? A for ear, R for rest, T for trust in divine power. 8 simple principles of life, if we put into practice on a regular basis, it can allow the entire being to experience relief. So we're talking about technique number 1, focusing on the entire body. New Start. New Start can give us a new start toward stress-managed living that produces happiness. Here we have it, taking a new walk. Technique number 2, relaxation exercises. Surely I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. I will put sinews on you, and you shall live. Deep breathing increases the supply of oxygen to the cells of the brain and other parts of the body, enhancing invigoration and relaxation. When was the last time you paid for a deep breath of air? It's free and it's powerful. And if we take time out to Breathe in, let it out. Just in exercising with the free gift of air can reduce stress. Take a walk, have an informal exercise or formal exercise, but relax. Relax and engage this technique. Technique number 3, the replacement technique. Participate in wholesome activity that displaces your stressful experience. In other words, change your pace. Do something different from what you are doing on a normal basis that's sustaining that stress. Just change it up. Replace pressure with pleasure. I like that. Yeah, just change it up. Change it up. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12, verse 21. David would take a harp and play it with his hand. Then Saul would become refreshed and well, and the distressing spirit would depart from him. 1 Samuel 16, 23. So Saul was known for his attack, being attacked by an evil spirit. And David played the harp, and his spirits were calm. Just changing the pace, doing something different that is useful, that is positive, can help us to reduce stress. Some relaxing and replacement activities include music, physical exercise, gardening, and you can add to the list those things you find. Even service is a change. Just taking a visit to the hospital and visiting others reduces my stress. And all of a sudden, I come away from visitation and I say, what happened to the stress I had when I was going in? Doing something of service, making life more meaningful, helping someone else. You find a method, a way, an activity different from your norm, different from that which is creating the negative stress, and help yourself to enjoy less stress. Positive self-talk is technique number 4. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23 and verse 7. When I receive a negative message, I have 2 options. 1, empower it to become my master, my stressor, or imprison it to become my slave. Which one will you choose? You see, the choice is ours. When a stressor shows up and we are tempted to be overcome by it, just staying there, thinking about it, letting it become a part of us, that will only bring us more stress. We can choose to release ourselves from that stressor and find a positive way out. The stress equation, activating agent plus my thinking equals what? My feeling. Okay, someone shouts at you. That's the activating agent. My thoughts. You would, eh? And what are you going to do after that? Oh, of course. But if you say, I think she has had a bad day. I think something went wrong, and I'm going to hold back. All of a sudden now, my next reaction will be different. All right? My feelings, and now the feeling of anger, frustration, becomes a feeling of just calm. I put on reserve going in high gear. And so my emotions are different. So the activating agent plus my thinking equals my feeling. So we have a control, don't we? We do not need to be controlled by the stressor. We can choose not to by adopting a mindset that places the stressor into prison, rather than putting me into prison with the stressor being my master, commanding my life, taking away my joy, reducing me to a state of depression when I could be at a state of peace and experience greater joy and find greater victory. As a man, as a woman thinketh, so is he. We can control our feelings by the thoughts we allow to become the part of our life. I receive, I think, and I feel. So, depending on how I think, will determine how I feel. You make the choice. When a negative message passes through negative self-talk, it produces negative feelings. But when a negative message is channeled through positive self-talk, it produces positive feelings. Proverbs 17:22 reminds us that a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. So practice self-talk, positive self-talk, and let your face agree. And your heart will agree, your feelings will agree, and people around you, they'll agree too. And your life will be so much sweeter, and the atmosphere that you create by your response to stressors will be so inviting that people will just love to be around you, even in the midst of conflict. Be stress-free, or at least manage your stress to be free of sadness. Technique number 5, people talk. People talk. Talk to the stressor if the stressor is a person. David to Saul, why does my Lord pursue his servant? What have I done? And we know Saul was out to kill him. And now there came a point, David was talking with Saul and says, what's this all about? Really? Why do you want to go there? What have I done? Saul to David, I have played the fool and erred exceedingly. May you be blessed, my son David. Simply at the right moment, having the right conversation with the stressor caused a change in Saul's attitude. And for that time, Saul said, listen, I'm wrong. Go back on your way. God's going to bless you. Let me go home. Now, later on, that evil spirit got into him again, and he came. But for the moment, that confrontation in love with David confronting the stressor in a positive way brought a positive result. Talk with a supporter. A sensitive support system helps to relieve stress. We cannot always resolve our problems alone. God has made us social beings, and we need one another. We need to choose wisely with whom we share those deeper experiences of our heart and of our life, but we need to find somebody or other people with whom we can confide, because support goes a long way when we are carrying a heavy load. So having small groups, being parts of intimate circles, can be a source of strength, just to talk it through. Maybe only to have someone listen is all you need to say, thank you very much, I'm ready to go, as if they said something. They said it non-verbally. They gave a listening ear, and they made you feel like you are valued, and indeed you are. So find a support group and help to relieve some of that stress. Then David took an oath again and said, your father certainly knows that I have found favor in your eyes. And he said, do not let Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly, as the Lord lives and as your soul lives, there is but a step between me and death. So Jonathan and David had a support system, a strong one that allowed them to make it through difficult times. Technique number 6, time management. This is important. Good time management results in good stress management. Because if we are too busy trying to do 100 things in a period of time in which you can only do 2, you're going to be in trouble. Time management. To everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 1. Create and write a plan. A monthly plan, a weekly plan, a daily plan. And revise it as you go along. And if you're not making your deadlines, well, then you may have to readjust and then establish new ones. Now, if you change your plan too much, that might create stress too. But the importance of making a plan, working with a plan, and accepting that there are extenuating circumstances that may prevent you from delivering all that you plan to do. But if you accomplish some, then give yourself a pat on the back. I didn't accomplish 10 things today, but I did 7 of them. 3 I carry on over to another day. At the start of each day, prioritize. Do the most important task first. When the mind is fresh, this will minimize stress, then do routine tasks after. You arrive for appointment early. This means starting off early. Nothing worse than being 15 minutes late and showing up and 20 people are waiting on you. Not a good plan. Doesn't help stress. It only increases it. More rush, more stress. Less rush, less stress. Time management is a key. Technique number 7, spiritual meditation. Be still and know that I am God. Psalms 46 and verse 10. Today people are trying transcendental meditation to lower stress, to find focus, to energize the body and the mind. Spiritual meditation does all that and much more. Spiritual meditation is not simply emptying your mind, because somebody's going to show up. And it may not be who you want to show up. Spiritual meditation is identifying the source of life and the source of power, who is God, and provide opportunity for Him to enter into our experience and refresh us and give us a new start. So we pause in the busyness of life, take time out to reflect on God, His Word, His promises, His instruction, so that we can have our spirits renewed and our faith energized. Jesus used this method. Now, in the morning, having risen a long while before daylight, He went out and departed to a solitary place. And there He prayed. Mark 1:35. If Jesus saw the importance of spiritual reflection in privacy, how much more we who, unlike Him, are sinful. We need time alone with God. In addition, we need weekly spiritual meditation. In the beautiful Garden of Eden, free from strain and stress, Adam and Eve joined their Creator in a Sabbath celebration of joy and peace. Genesis 2, verse 3, then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it He rested from all His work, which God created and made. So God carved out of the weekly cycle time. 1/7 of the weekly time, He carved it out for a special communication with His creation. And when we honor the appointment that He has given us, it brings us spiritual rest, because we break away from the routine of life to pause in time with God and with a focus that is invigorating. Genesis tells us that He rested on the 7th day. So the rest of the Sabbath is God's greatest prescription for stress. 7th-day Sabbath, God's prescription for rest. People are so busy today that they work some 7 days a week because they believe more work, more money, but less years to enjoy it. It doesn't make good sense. God said, I made the week with a rest day. And if you honor it, you will be better off. Longer life, greater quality of life, and peace with God. The rest of the Sabbath is God's greatest prescription for stress. Question, was this day of rest made for the Jews or for the whole human family? Jesus said the Sabbath was made for man, and man equals all humans. Mark 2 in verse 27. Many think the Sabbath rest was only given to the Jews. Was Adam a Jew? No, he was not. The Jewish race began later when Abraham showed up. And the Sabbath was given to Adam. He was not a Jew, so like marriage and family, it was given to Adam for the whole human race. Just as marriage was made for man, so also the Sabbath was made for man. Black man or white man, the Sabbath was made for all men. All men, all women, all people, humankind, rich man, poor man. Sabbath was made for man. And that's so beautiful that the Sabbath is a neutralizer. We come from all walks of life, all status in society, all jobs, all economic ladders. But when we come together in worshiping God, we are all on the same level. Brothers and sisters in Christ, giving praise and glory to God. A few jams about the Sabbath. It isn't Jewish, it's Christian. That's jam number one. Created by Christ, it is a Christian experience. Number two, it's a family day. The family of God come together. After a wedding, the couple go on a honeymoon. Where did Adam and Eve go after they got married? On the sixth day of the week. Adam and Eve's marriage was on Friday, and the next day was the Sabbath. Friday night was the first night of their honeymoon. Wasn't it beautiful? Everything happened on the Sabbath. And the very next day, they enjoyed a full day. The first full day they enjoyed was a Sabbath. What better way to spend a honeymoon with God and His created work? So, Sabbath is a special day for God's happy family. The big question, which day is Christ's Sabbath? It's easy to identify God's special day just from an event that we all know so much about, Luke 23, 53 to 24 and verse 1. It's the Easter weekend. What do we find? The event of Christ's crucifixion. That happened on what day? Friday, and we call it what? Good Friday. And what day of the week was that? The sixth day. And the Sabbath drew on. Christ's entombment was on the day following his crucifixion, and then the resurrection occurred the next day. We call Friday Good Friday. We call Saturday, or that second day, seventh day, Saturday, and Easter Sunday follows the resurrection Sunday. The Bible calls that day of the crucifixion Preparation Day. It calls the seventh day the Sabbath, and we call the first day, Easter Sunday, the first day of the week. So, jam number 3, the Sabbath is the day between Christ's crucifixion and Christ's resurrection. It is only one day that fits between the two. It's the seventh that we call Saturday. Friday, sunset Saturday. Friday night, sunset to sunset on Saturday. Sunset to sunset, we celebrate the Sabbath. And Luke 23:32 bears this out. Gem number 4, God has chosen it, I cannot change it. He has blessed it, I cannot reverse it. It's a day of joy. Just as my wife is special to me, the Sabbath is special to Jesus. Gem number 5, it's God's prescription for human stress. It's God's prescription. Isaiah 58 tells us about that. And for one full day each week, I put away life's cares. It's a job, the school, the business. I don't even talk about the things I talk about throughout the week. It's a special time with God, a time of peace, a prescription for stress. After such a renewal, I am ready to face the challenge of a new week. Try it. You will like it. It's a blessing. It came from God to help us to manage our stress. And worship is a part of that joy. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Your family can become God's happy family by keeping the Sabbath holy. God invites us to keep the Sabbath holy. Gem number 6, the Sabbath belongs to the Savior. Therefore, the Son of Man is Lord even of the seventh day. Jesus engaged in many healing ministries also on the Sabbath, healed the cripple and made the blind to see, letting us know that it is good to do good on the Sabbath day. Luke 4:16 tells us he kept the Sabbath holy himself, and he made it as an example for us who love him. Gem number 7, the Sabbath is a sign that we love God. John 14:15, if you love me, keep my Sabbaths. So marriage is a sign, so is the Sabbath. They both point back to creation, and they both bring peace when God is at the center. What treasures I have when I allow God's peace to control my life. Our next session moves us into another topic. That topic is 6 things every couple should know about sex. Let us allow God's presence to be felt, that we may experience the peace that comes in the midst of stress, allowing us to manage stress in a positive way. But let's come back and talk about sex in God's eyes and what God would have us to understand and experience through the joyful privilege he has given to us in marriage. Have a good night. Thank you.